What's going on, y'all? So, of course, joining you guys again on my nightly stretch. The name of the game is consistency, of course. So hopefully you're stretching and you've been stretching and you're doing it every night. Going long enough so that you can get some results. Okay, so hopefully that's what you guys are doing. That's really what my goal is. I'm tired of being inflexible. Just like somebody commented on one of my stretching videos recently, it's just too easy to get injured because you get so tight, especially the older you get. Because when I was younger, I didn't used to be tight like this. I mean, I was inflexible at times, but I can feel the tightness. By the way, one tip is every now and then while you're stretching, you want to take a deep inhale, and then when you exhale, go deeper into the stretch. And it works almost every time. Alright, but anyhow, oh man. Anyhow, what I want to mention in this video is this. The chances are, for example, if you're stretching and you find yourself you're not getting flexible. You're not really getting results. You kind of need to face the truth. You're not doing enough. And I don't mean that in a harsh way. I say that because I've learned from my own personal experience. And the same thing goes for exercise in general. If you're exercising to lose weight or you're exercising to gain muscle, different stuff like that, especially to gain muscle, I'll say, there's a chance that you're not really doing everything that you need to do. You're not really doing enough. Now, I want to clarify that. Because when I say that, then I think that kind of like makes some people's minds kind of immediately go to kind of going extreme. There is a such thing as too much. There is a such thing as too much. There is a such thing as like, it's kind of like your breaking point where for you at this particular moment is too much. So please know that. And if you work out long enough, if you do this health stuff long enough, you kind of start to have like an intuition, so to speak, of like what your point is. So a lot of times you can go further past that point, but you kind of know. But anyhow, going back to this stretching stuff. So like when I was in high school, specifically when I was in my high school personal fitness class, one of the things they made us do was stretch. So I remember that they graded us in the sit and reach, the stretch where you put your legs out in front of you, like I do sometimes, and go to touch my toes. And just like you see here now, I was like unable to do that. I was way up there. Like I wasn't even close to touching my toes without my hamstrings burning like fire. But what happened was, it was in that class that I really learned how to really stretch, because our coach, he would he had us to get like a stretching buddy, and when we did the sit and reach, we would do it maybe a couple of reps on our own, and then a couple of reps partner assisted. And so literally our partner would push on our back and make us go further, and it hurt. It really hurt. It really, really hurt, but they made you go beyond what you thought your limit was. Now, of course, still to, not to the point of hurting you, but it did help you to understand that you kind of had more flexibility than you thought you did, and it helped you to get flexible quickly. So that class taught me a lot about how to get flexible. I can't say I've used that all the time, but it gave me kind of like a knowledge in my head about what it actually looks like to do enough to get flexible in my hamstrings, And so I've learned some other tips and tricks here and there, But really, at the end of the day, it's all about being consistent and then doing enough. Because sometimes, this is why I say this. Sometimes we kind of, and I've mentioned this in recent videos, because of the way our society teaches us to be, we kind of end up being people who get satisfied with a bare minimum. Like, for example, my child has become interested in the My Plate recommendations by I think it's by the USDA, for like what you need to eat from the different food groups and whatnot. And so she's like, yep, so I need to eat this much of this and that much of that. And I was telling her, remember, these are guidelines. These are guidelines. And I think it's pretty intriguing to her because you can put your weight in and then your age, I think, and then it'll tell you all this stuff. However, I was trying to help her to understand, like, don't take that like religiously. These are like guidelines that probably are not for like optimal health. It's probably just like to ensure you kind of get some baseline in. And but my point is, we kind of settle for, well, at least I just got my vegetables in. I got in a little bit of walking. Now, getting in whatever you get in is great. My point is, these days I'm all for like health optimization, not health management. And optimization often, it often kind of hurts a bit whenever I come out of a stretch. But health optimization is going to most likely mean that you go beyond like just the standard conventional recommendations, because those recommendations aren't typically given for the optimization of your health, like actually you being the healthiest that you can be. So let's talk about exercise. So for me, as you see, I'm kind of lean muscular. So I'm not like real bulky or anything like that. Ideally I'd be more muscular than I am, but I've definitely gained a decent amount of muscle since I was out of high school. But again, what I learned is that I was for sure missing consistency back in the day. And then I also learned that I wasn't doing enough to gain muscle. To gain muscle, you really gotta tire your muscle out. You gotta tire it out. And don't underestimate how much you need to tire it out. One of my I think I can say a friend in the fitness world, Lee Haney, I've had the opportunity to get to know him and interview him a couple of times in the past, do an event with him. He has the phrase stimulate, don't annihilate. So he's all about making sure you actually stimulate the muscle to grow. It doesn't mean that you just totally rip it to shreds where you basically hurt yourself, but you need to stimulate it to grow. Your muscle needs a stimulus to grow, and sometimes because of our bare minimum mindset, we feel good. We feel like, well, I did something, and so we feel like because we just kind of went and lifted something a few times that we did something, but we did not stimulate anything. Like literally, you have to stimulate your muscle to have a reason for it to change in size or strength level. Okay, because the ability is there, but you need to stimulate it to get there. And as far as gaining muscle is concerned, that means that you need to stimulate it by really pumping out heavy volume. That means lots of reps, preferably at like a moderate weight, so you can really tire the whole muscle and get some results. And I've discovered that since I've really kind of gone up on my repetitions, or times that I've been very high on my calisthenics repetitions, I've actually seen muscle growth. Like a lot of stuff I've been doing with my arms lately, I've seen muscle growth like never before. I really have, which helps me to know I just wasn't doing enough. So make sure you're doing enough. It's going to require being uncomfortable, but it's worth it. It's worth it. You have to like provide stimulus for change. Stretch enough, stretch consistently, and stretch to that point where it actually hurts. And I know this is pretty bad right now, but I mean, I'm just being honest. This is where I am with my hamstrings. I just gotta pull forward until I feel a good stretch behind my legs and behind my knees. But this actually hurts here. But just stretch to the point of good pain. not like tearing pain, and do that consistently. Ooh. And after I do these videos, I typically will kind of go back over a couple things like my hamstrings and stuff like that because they're just so inflexible. But do enough. Otherwise, you're gonna be wasting your time, you know, year in, year out, thinking that you're doing something just because, you're showing up, but you're doing the same stuff that you've been doing and you're not getting results. And then you're like, well, this stuff don't work for me. It's my genetics. It's like, no, you just have to find out what works for you. You have to stimulate your body to change. And it could be a little different than what you read about or what you've seen somebody else do. But my main thing is, aside from being consistent, which is the most important thing, do enough. Do enough so that you're not wasting your time. All right, let me finish my stretching. Y'all have a good night.
As we get older, it becomes increasingly important to maintain and build muscle. Muscle helps you burn fat, stay mobile, and can contribute to longevity. However, many people have no idea how to work out to build muscle. My mini workout series on Patreon provides you with my body weight mini workout video library. These workouts use little to no equipment, which means that you can do them in the privacy of your own home. They start at beginner level and progress from there to ensure you continue to see results. Every workout is a full body workout, hitting chest, back, legs, and glutes, as well as other muscles in between. Become a patron today and receive access to my series of mini workouts, plus access to a digital copy of my book, 8 Weeks to Transform Your Diet and Your Health. By combining the workouts with healthy diet changes, as outlined in my book, you'll definitely be on your way to weight loss, improved health, and visible results. Join me at patreon.com/SeanB2B Fitness today.